If I spend an hour on Instagram chasing this thing or that thing, or wasting my time on this website or whatever, I have this feeling like a bit of my soul was sucked out, that I kind of lost something, that I'm just this kind of machine that's just processing data, and I'm not a human being anymore. And I feel that soul kind of, it's like a vapor that's escaping me. So many young men are afraid of women. They get in their early 20s, they don't know how to approach them because they've never had to approach them. Returning to that, because psychologists have studied, that is the period when you feel what makes you different the most, right? It's when you feel the most rebellious, when you understand, this is who I am. I'm not like my parents. You're 13, you're 14, all of a sudden you go, I don't have to be like mom or dad. In fact, I want to be totally different. I do believe that there is something as vague as the word is, that is like a soul that a person has. And that soul is connected to who you are as an individual. Like you're kind of born with it, right? And when you know who you are, when you go deep into it, when you connect to things that you really love, when you connect to your memories from childhood, to things that make you different, that soul's kind of alive. It feels alive, it feels vibrant, it feels right. The feeling of rightness, which is, I think people don't understand. Some things feel right, some things don't. Okay, and I know for myself, and I'm guilty of it, if I spend an hour on Instagram chasing this thing or that thing, or wasting my time on this website or whatever, I have this feeling like a bit of my soul was sucked out of me, that I kind of lost something, that I'm just this kind of machine that's just processing data, and I'm not a human being anymore. And I feel that soul kind of, it's like a vapor that's escaping me. You know, human beings need to believe in something, need to believe in something larger than themselves. And when they don't, things can get really nasty and chaotic and soulless. And I think that's sort of what we're going through right now. People will find their way back to it. It'll take young people who get disgusted with this kind of mechanical culture that we have. Will that happen? I don't know. You know, these algorithms, as you say, are insanely powerful. Well, I keep coming back to something that I tell a lot of people I think is very important, is the desire to know yourself. So people are very good at faking it. And you could be out there listening and you go, yeah, I kind of want to know myself better. Okay, let me get online and get, and they just forget about it because the other forces are stronger than them. You have to have a level, that if you're in recovery, a level of disgust, you have to hit bottom. You have to go, I don't want to be like this anymore. I want to find out who I am. I want to touch that core of individuality that I know is still within me, that soul that I believe is still there. You have to have the desire. If there's no desire there, if you're just mimicking, if you're just saying it just for the sake of it because it sounds good, I can't help you. But if it's still there, yeah, you want to start by writing down your thoughts and writing down your dreams. And when I say that, I say, don't do it on a computer. Pick up a pen and a journal and write it down. Dreams, I know this sounds woo-woo, but it's not. Dreams are really powerful, very interesting. They're going to tell you a lot about yourself, right? It's going to tell you about those journeys your brain takes at night that are pretty fantastical. Okay, you write that down. You go back into your childhood and you go, what was it that made me so different? What that was so weird about me? What was it that I was attracted to? As you go through that process, things will start coming up. It's like you're digging, you're excavating, like you're an archaeologist into your own past. And you'll start connecting to who you were when you were young, and you're connecting to who you were as an adolescent. Adolescence is an extremely important part of our life. It really is almost the most formative part. It's where we really made that turn into this or into that, right? And I find returning to your adolescence, returning to those strong, powerful emotions that you felt, those sexual things that were just so overwhelming, those other things that, that were happening, returning to that, psychologists have studied, that is the period when you feel what makes you different the most. It's when you feel the most rebellious, when you understand, this is who I am. I'm not like my parents. You're 13, you're 14, all of a sudden you go, I don't have to be like mom or dad. In fact, I want to be I want to be totally different. Adolescence is like a really key thing to go deep into that will show you a lot about your individuality, about who you are, and about who you've become. So it's a process, and it should be a very exciting process. If you wanted to meet, you were feeling lonely, you'd go to a party or a bar or something. It took some guts. You had to like get out of your house. You had to take the risk of somebody saying no, and you were kind of afraid and timid. You're kind of trembling, and then maybe you had a few beers and things went a little bit better. But it took like a skill that you had to develop, a people skill. But if everything is so quick and instant, you're afraid. So many young men are afraid of women. They get in their early 20s, they don't know how to approach them because they've never had to approach them. They've never had to deal with the fact that somebody could reject them because it's just
right there.
You don't have to deal with it. If you're really interested in her, if you're really excited by her, if it's not just about, there's something about her that excites you, it'll bring something out of you that you didn't think was in you, right? It'll bring energy out of you. It will make you, they will feel that your excitement and your interest, they'll see that it's not mechanical, that it's not just about sex, that you're genuinely interested in them. That will relax them, which in turn will relax you, back and forth, back and forth. So if you choose somebody that you genuinely feel a connection to, and it's also sexual, it'll have this kind of reverberating effect where you will bring out your I remember sometimes I'd be funnier than I've ever been in my whole life. I'd be wittier, I'd be an actor, I'd be saying all kinds of weird things, and they brought it out of me. But then other women, no, nothing at all like that. I'd be nervous, it didn't happen. But that kind of magic happens when it's like a real connection.
When there's purpose there.
The sublime is about experiences, a lot of them related to some of those drug experiences.
Yeah.
They make you realize that there's another level, another almost dimension to life itself that you're not aware of. So your mind can either shrink, and it'll shrink with your phone to the confines of your stupid little phone, and all the, what people are eating for breakfast, where they're taking their vacations, etc. This gets smaller and smaller and smaller. Your circle of thinking gets narrower and narrower and narrower, or it can expand. And it can expand further and further. Books can do it, drugs can do it. It's to get you out of the small thinking and get you into thinking that there's something very weird about being alive in the world and being a human being who's conscious.